News and welcome to ANM, our signature program, interviews with celebrities and people who are a formidable force in their field. Today I have a surprise for you. 12 points for guessing who our guest is. I'll give you the name. Miranda Liu. Rings any bell? Well, for anybody in Kolkata, she is an entrepreneur, a socialite, all molded into one, a lady who is seen everywhere, every time. Oh yeah, she's here with us. Welcome to ANM News, Miranda. How are you doing?
Thank you, Vijay, for inviting me.
Everything fine? All okay?
Yeah.
Good to
Why
see you.
not?
Good to see you smiling. Every time I see you smiling. You're always very positive. You have a very positive
I think it's the environment.
Vibe.
Our Kolkata vibes.
Absolutely, Miranda. Now, let me start by asking you one very basic question. How do you define yourself? Are you a social worker? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you an activist? You're what?
As a woman, I think I'm all packaged in one. But your question about entrepreneur, I think entrepreneur, and a social worker, because if you're an entrepreneur, you must have a vision of not only like what you can do for society. So humans are social beings, and as an entrepreneur, eventually along the way, you also, with business, it means what you can do for society and what you're making, how much you can return back. So you can say entrepreneur and social worker. Goes always hand in hand.
Always mixed
Yes,
together.
yeah.
Great. So now,
You cannot be an entrepreneur and say, I don't want to, as a social being, you don't want to give back to society.
True. Very correct. Very correct. So as we get along, I'll offer you coffee.
Why not?
Which is because we have the Aster coffee is
the speciality over here.
Speciality.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm ready this thing with Aster coffee. So I don't know whether you like it or not, but definitely it's some different coffee brewed in a different way.
Yeah.
That's what they mentioned. And of course, this is in our ANM News special cup.
Thank you. We'll see that.
So, Miranda, I want you to go back on your younger days. When you're young. Your mom started this Beijing, very famous, authentic Chinese food restaurant. Now, I'll come to the Chinese food because we get Chinese food in every doorstep of Kolkata, but that's not the Chinese food as we all know. But I'll come to that later. But then, how did you spend your younger days? How do you see your mom building up this Beijing and the business brick by brick?
We were not born with golden spoons. So we did have we've seen through thick and thin we've been together. As you say, water and fire, through blood and sweat. We worked for this business, especially in this food business. How my mom started was that, one day she went to my brother's school and all the hawkers were evicted. The puchkawalas, the muniwalas, they were all evicted in one go outside the school. And my mom said why, where are your stalls? They're saying, oh, we've been evicted, by the local Thana. And she's saying, and as usual, like an activist with a lot of guts, she went to the Thana and she went to the OC and she said, why aren't you allowing them to sell if they're making their living? That's a basic living which they have a right to. And then that's how she went and fought with the officer over there and got them reinstated to sell their puchkas and all that. And eventually she made friends with Mr. Day. And from there onward we invited him for
So you saw
lunch. Yes, we invited him for lunch and she made her special chili chicken.
So you saw that activism in your mom right from your younger days. But then how did she build the restaurant?
She built it up, and then because of his, he kept on instigating her that your food is so good, you should open your own restaurant. And that time she was running a beauty parlor, and my dad was into leather business, but not doing that great. And when we got a chance to open, we got a space to open a small restaurant called Kimling Restaurant, and that was the first AC restaurant. That idea was, you know, basically it was a Bengali friend now that who really pushed her that, you know, you have the talent, you can make good food, and people would love it. That's how we started that small restaurant Kimling. And Kimling also, you know, we had like fans, you know, you can say her fans, you know, who come even at night. 10 o'clock we close, 11 o'clock they come, she'll still cook for them.
Great. So when you were growing up in the neighborhood, you grew up in Tangra.
Yeah, in Tangra.
So at that point of time, how big was your community?
Our community, we had around, maybe when we started, maybe there were around 20,000 people and plus. That is only in Tangra itself, you know.
And in Kolkata?
All over Kolkata, maybe at that time, maybe was maybe 30,000. Yeah, 30.
So you have seen now
our community dwindling.
You have seen your community dwindling. You have seen people going out. Have you seen people coming in and going out? So if you can just throw some light on that. How
people going out, because the youngsters, those who are educated are going out, because after the 1962 Indo-China war, right? People were put in the refugee camp, and thereafter the choice, the Chinese government did send some ships to repatriate them back, but they did not. They were given choices, you know. And so a lot of them started going abroad, like Canada or Sweden, Austria. But my grandfather stayed back. For them, they have come all the way from China to India, thinking that, you know, like for Chinese to come in India, they were given a choice. When they landed up in Hong Kong, do you want to go to India, you want to go to Bangkok, or you want to go to Malaysia and all that? But no, they all decided that they want to move to India, especially Calcutta. Like they had the idea, you know, after the Indian independence, that it's a country of democracy, country where people welcome them with good opportunities, and they were at home. They felt at home. That's why a lot of Chinese from the 40s, 50s, they all started moving to India, and that's how our population grew quite a lot. But after 1962, yes, the youngsters started moving out. And eventually, yes, there are opportunities, better opportunities maybe out there. But me and my family, we have stayed back. We found,
you stayed back?
Yeah, we felt Calcutta was always home. We always had good friends.
These restaurants, Kimling and Beijing, did they start post 1962 or before that?
No, much around 1990s. We started in the 1990s. Onwards, we've been moving, you know.
Moving along. So so people migrating to Canada, migrating to other places, dwindling Chinese community. Yet you stuck on, and what is the difference between the Chinese
you know,
food?
Those Chinese who have gone abroad, even when they do have some relatives here, but when it's New Year time, they do come back. Like this is still home.
Great.
This is where they've grown up.
Now tell me the difference between the Chinese food that we get on the streets of Kolkata and the Chinese food that people long for in Tangra or in Tirti Bazaar. I mean, those small Chinese.
The Chinese food, see, when you say Chinese food, is like synonymous with, you know, the Hakka chow mein. You go abroad, everyone knows, even if they open a restaurant, it is called the Hakka Chinese food. So what you get from Tangra is more or less like the Hakka style. And what you get in Tirti Bazaar is maybe a bit more of the Cantonese, because they're a bit more Cantonese concentrated over there. So we had a Hakka version which is in Tangra. That's a difference, but not much of a difference. But maybe we have tweaked, you know, our spices, you know, to suit more like for Bengali, you know, our Indian.
But your spices
Indian
that
customers,
do you get those spices from China, those special spices that you use in?
Yeah, we do get a few items. For instance, mushroom. We do get the shiitake mushroom we have to get from abroad, the black fungi. You know. A lot of maybe if we do add some goji berries or ginseng, anything, we do get from abroad. And we try to use mostly the local whatever is the seasonal vegetables, everything is from here. We always try to incorporate.
Are you a good cook?
Yeah, why not? I'm in restaurant business, so I've been brought up in that environment. Yeah,
of course,
my grandmother was into restaurant also. That's how my mom has, that was a passion. So that's how she started.
And that's how
restaurant is. Yeah, and that's how now our family, like our generation, is like into food.
Great. So behind every successful woman, they say behind every successful man there is a woman.
There's a woman.
The role is also reversed. Behind every successful woman there is also a man.
Yes, because what you're saying is my husband, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been very cooperative. He's
you fell in love?
It was an arranged marriage. Along the way. Along the way, then you fall in love.
But of course, you're a beautiful lady. I mean, of course, during your school and college days, you must have had a lot of crushes.
Yeah.
So you...
Yeah, I'm actually a Loreto student all the way. From Shillong to Intali to Loreto House to Loreto College, all the way.
Absolutely. So when you were doing this thing in your community, there are good many schools there in Tangra, and so does your community members go to those schools, or did you?
Yes, our community, we have one small school called the Pimoy Chinese High School, but that time it was only taught in Chinese, in Mandarin, and that was like till primary section. Primary means like KG till class 6. And there onwards, you have to get admitted to an English school.
Okay.
So, only till primary. Till date, not now at the moment, because everyone prefers to study English.
Oh.
That is what is in demand.
So, is there, does the community people want to learn Mandarin at the moment? Or?
Yes, it is. It has become now, with China becoming quite strong, and people are doing a lot of business in China. Yes, it has become like... it's not that you need to go to school now to learn Mandarin. Like even if you need to do business, you need to know Mandarin.
Absolutely.
It's easier to communicate.
So in your business, in the restaurant business, in the food business, you have expanded a lot. Yeah, so can you just throw some light as to how big this market is and how welcome, how did you feel while you expanded? And also let us know about the leather market.
When you expand is because there is demand. It's because the people love you. The people love your food. That's why you expand. But ours has always been a family-owned business. So as I said, we started with a small restaurant called Kimling, and then we moved on. We had an opportunity to acquire this Mandarin, and afterwards we did Beijing, Tungfang, and another new Mandarin, and we did open in Durgapur, but Durgapur was a bit of too far, so we could not get like fresh material, fresh food to be delivered over there. So that we scrapped it. But yes, I think the new generations, my son is one of my son is into food business, so.
They are catching into this.
Yeah, they're catching.
And what about the leather business? Because we heard about Chinese, apart from the food, they own the best shoes.
Not only, not what you can see is the leather tannery. Okay. Yeah, Chinese, with Bobazar and all that, they were always making shoes, right? But in times have changed. And at that time when there was demand, then the Chinese moved into Tangra and opened the leather factories. But with people going abroad, the next generation, they never wanted to do. Like now I am the 3rd generation. My son is going to be 4th generation. Yes, one of my son is going to be involved in the leather business, leather and leather goods.
So do you think the leather business, that has lost interest down the line to a certain extent?
It's, leather business is, those who are making leather is always a passion. Okay. It's not that, they've lost interest. It's just that they have aged, and the next generation doesn't want to do this business. It's not that they have lost passion. So people who are still doing are still doing, and though it has reduced down, the factories have reduced down. But it's not that there's no passion. It's just that they have the passion, but they don't have the people to carry forward the business.
Absolutely.
So that's why they wind down.
That's getting smaller and smaller by the day. So now you said that 30,000 Chinese, Indian Chinese were there.
It dwindled down to maybe 6,000 now.
Only
6,000, yeah.
Okay. So what primarily was the reason, apart from 1962 war? Are there any other primary reason as to why?
With education. With education, I think the lifestyle over there maybe, and here they never, people, you know, the Chinese are always, you know, like a peace-loving kind of people. They don't want any trouble. They are, once they're educated, they never thought of like, let's do some, you know, they can look for jobs, like a government job or something like that, which can keep them over here.
Kebabs, yeah. This place is famous for its kebab.
All the kebabs. Thanks for inviting me to Astor. Definitely wouldn't miss it also for the food.
So that is the reason why you feel that the community has...
It's the new generations, the educated generations, yeah. And once they go abroad, you know, they find their partners from there. So if the partners, they don't want to come back, then it's very difficult for them to come back. But they have their parents over here, you know. They may have a few siblings over here and all that. But they always have someone over here. That's why every New Year, every Lunar New Year, they come back.
They come back here
for to celebrate Chinese New Year. As I said, this time I think there were 150 people that have come back.
Oh.
So that's quite a lot, yeah.
So you have Chinese associations here which take care of your, especially the food business and for your leather food.
I think we have always been independent, so there is not, you cannot say there's a community for the restaurant, but definitely there is, for the Leather Tannery Association, it's there. We do have a Tannery Association over here.
And for the community, there is an association?
Yes, it's called the Tangler Chinese Welfare Association, in which my father is the president and I'm the secretary. It's to help out the Chinese, you know, any, they do have any issues with the local, to do with amongst themselves, if they have any issues, that is being resolved by the association.
Okay, and the Buddhism that the Chinese often speak about, the Chinese school of Buddhism. So how, if you can throw some light on that?
The Buddhism, we had to have two groups, you know, one from China, which looks after one of the temple in Chowbaga, and one which has come in from, another branch which has come in from Taiwan. So they are there in Tangler. We do, it's not that, you know, it separates us that you follow this or follow that temple. Everywhere it's like, it's the same. Religion has never played a role. In, you know, like in our community. In fact, it brings us together.
Absolutely.
That's like any gathering or any function, any festivals, they are all there. Even I'm there. I'm not a Buddhist, I'm a Catholic, but my family is Buddhist. So it's like you still follow the same culture, the traditions. We do have prayers and all that, you know. So pujas and all that is all there. It's the same. We follow that irrespective of even if you're Catholic.
But we see this, and you know, Bruce Lee is a very famous Chinese actor, and we follow that Shaolin Temple. So what is that Shaolin Temple? It's a form of martial art.
It's only for, I think Shaolin Temple is like, it is a part of a sect of Buddhism, but they do teach them, you know, it's to discipline them actually. It's a disciplinary kind of thing, you know, to teach them Kung Fu. It's like, you know, the Shaolin Kung Fu. It's just like how we have like the yoga. So the temple also have like a Kung Fu for more or less like a kind of an exercise to keep them fit.
So do you have it in Kolkata?
At the moment, no. We did have one master, you know, at one time teaching Kung Fu, but he died long time back. And with that, I think he had Indian students also. A lot of Indian students, but with him passing away, there was no one to pass down the mantle to.
So you've been to China several times for business purpose and whatever. So how do you feel the people-to-people relationship between the two countries?
They are in fact surprised that we have some small Chinese community in India, especially in Kolkata. They've never heard of. So now the consulate is trying to the gap, you know, between, you know, like we do know about where we come from, where like our ancestors are from, like from which province, but they do not know about us. So now he's trying to build a bridge between the community from China and the community in Meishan.
Okay.
So now we've last time we went in a small group, so like we've come to know, okay, like, you know, this is where our ancestors are from. Something new for us, but it's something very enlightening, you know, like enlightening, you know, like you come to know. Otherwise, new generations, they don't know, they are always clueless, because they think that this is home, Calcutta is home. Calcutta is always home.
Very correct. And then you've been an activist all through. Whenever I've seen you, you have always championed the causes of people, be it your community member, be somebody outside. So how...
My father was a champion. That's why I was like, yes, according to me, my father is such a gentleman, you know. If he thinks, even if my enemy is right, he'll say, he'll take his side, not my side. So he'll take his side, you know.
I understand.
So it's like, I think I've learned from him. Because he was a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a teacher. So it's like, what is right, what is wrong, irrespective of the relations, you know. Because as a community, as a figurehead, you know, people follow him and trust him for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
So he has been a champion, and because of that, and I think what he's doing is right. So that is the reason that, you know.
So what exactly are you doing right now as a social worker? Are you putting an impact on your community? What exactly are your priorities at the moment?
Priority at the moment is, for instance, our Chinese school. We do have now the only Chinese school in Calcutta. So the Chinese school that what we are trying to, it's called the Pimoy Chinese High School. Now we're trying to set everything in order, because we may not be there one day, but we want the school to remain there and to preserve the school, because on top there is a temple over there also. So maybe a few years down the line, maybe we'll reopen the school and try to bring in some Indian students or some overseas students. That I think will give back to the society, you know, and maybe and also of course the local students, which is important for us.
So that's the top priority.
Yeah,
and what else are you working on?
In what way?
Tough to believe that Mirinda is only working on one particular school. You're so active. Community-wise, maybe?
Community-wise is like anyone who has any issues, any help they need, I'm always there. I think maybe that's, you know, dial 1, Miranda. Dial 1 for Miranda. Anything. It's like anything to do with legal or anything to do with local police or the local goons. My mom is one of the, I think, the first person they'll go to. Yeah, and legal wise, maybe they'll come to me.
So over the years, I mean, in the future, immediate future, do you plan to have more people from China or nearest place in China, Kunming maybe, come over to Kolkata to look at the beauty of Kolkata, or maybe...
That's what I was thinking, that maybe we should promote Calcutta, you know, we should promote India or Calcutta, that it is it's a friendly place. You can come and do business, you can come and settle down over here, because I see some Korean families have settled down, so why not? Why not the Chinese? So opportunities are there, and I think the government is opening up also. There are a lot of Chinese coming to India at the moment. Yes, but not to Calcutta, maybe in other states. Maybe in Bombay, in Bangalore, where, you know, they are able to set up some kind of, I think, to do with the phone factories or the car factories that is being coming up. So I guess lots of Chinese will come down, and I guess if they do settle down, they do get married, then they definitely. But it'll be more like, it'll be like it's everywhere. It will not be clustered in, like, you know, in Calcutta itself.
That. So has the recent hostilities changed any mindset or made things difficult?
No, I don't think so. It's just like it's a psychological problem because I think we're Indians. We're carrying an Indian passport. We are born and brought up over here. So I don't think that people have done anything that they should be scared of. There's no hostility. It's between the two countries. It doesn't have anything to do with the people. Yes.
You carry on with your business and activism and social work without thinking or even remotely.
No, it has never come to a thought that because if you have not done anything bad or thought of something which is against, I don't think so.
And how has the COVID affected your business?
COVID did affect, in the sense, it opened up your mind, it changed your priority. Like, yes, you were very into your business, and then your priorities change. You think now your family, friends are important, more important now, because we lost a lot of friends, we lost a few family members, and then you decide that yes, money is not important. I think health is important. Your people around you, who's keeping you happy, they're important, and how you can help them. You want to be with them, And but business-wise, it did affect, I think, for 1.5 years. But we did. Now everything is back to normal. People are not wearing masks. People are like, let's fight it out.
And your business is also back.
Back
to what it was before COVID.
Yes.
So, Mirinda, lastly, what's your immediate future plan? Just say maybe in the next 48 to 72 hours.
In the next 40 to 72 hours, I am going to host some few friends. No, I have got a new venture actually at the moment. It has something to do with leather goods. So maybe for the next another 6 months, I'm going to keep myself occupied with that. And later on, maybe I have some more business ventures. So for that, maybe another 1 year will keep me occupied. But yes, for my community, for my people, I'm always there, And not only for my community and my people, for my friends.
Oh, that's damn good news.
My friends means, it doesn't have to be Chinese. It's everyone.
For friends means us also.
Yes. So it's all inclusive. All inclusive.
It was lovely chatting with you, Mirinda. Excellent.
Born and brought up in Calcutta, you do have the Bengali vibe, or Addagiri and all that. This is what you have offered me. This is called Addagiri.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. It was a lovely session that I had with you in ENM Radha, and to be with friends, to work not only for the community but have a long business venture ahead. So she's one side going to be a community leader, and the other side she's going to be a business leader. That's Mirinda Liu for you. So thanks a lot, Mirinda. Thanks a lot for watching ANM News. Keep watching ANM Radha, and we will come back to you with more such interesting interviews in future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
আরো খবরের আপডেট পেতে সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেলটি আর বেল আইকনে ক্লিক করুন নোটিফিকেশনস পেতে।